What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a new bike joining the collection. We purchased this bike. We have seen you guys asking for it for a long time now. Without further ado, I introduce our Surron Ultra Bee. Many of you are already familiar with the Surron Ultra Bee because it's been around for about 18 months. We first reviewed it on our channel about a year ago. It was our first experience with a larger electric dirt bike. That bike had some modifications, some bigger wheels and tires, some extra power, and we fell in love with it. We typically have loved the small E-motos like the Surron, Talaria, E-Ride Pro. That's been our favorite bikes for the type of riding we do. But we've also upgraded and modified those bikes to make them a lot bigger than they started. And this is the next step. A larger bike from the factory with a bigger, beefier, sturdy frame that we can now modify again to have more power and more range and a different type of riding experience. We're excited to be able to bring that to the channel and compare it to those small bikes that we love so much. We're not getting rid of any of those bikes. This is just a new addition to the channel, bring some more content. It's gonna be staying around for a long time. And without further ado, I think we need to suit up and we're gonna head out on a ride. Me and Alex are really gonna put this baby to the test. It is completely stock right now, and during the video we'll go over a lot of the modifications that we're gonna do, but also talk about how it is performing in bone stock configuration. Let's hit it.
Boys, we finally did it. We got a Surron Ultra Bee. Right out of the box, this thing rips. This is so sick. But we are not gonna keep this thing stock for very long. We have parts on the way already and big plans with this bike. We're about to take some gnarly single track trail that goes straight up the mountain, loop around, come down another trail that we're very familiar with. So we can really put this bike to the test on trails that we're very used to on our light bikes.
What's going on guys? You got Lance here on our heavily modified Surron Light Bee. So this is the smaller version bike of the one we're really kind of reviewing and introducing to the channel today. And this has been modified to be about as large as you can make it. It's got larger 18-21-inch wheels, a lot of power and battery upgrades among other things. And so this primarily is like our biggest, most powerful, fastest bike. And that's kind of going to change now as we start modifying and upgrading that Ultra Bee. So that bike has a lot more room for upgrades to exceed the power and the range and the capabilities of this bike. I also just want to welcome those of you watching the video. We really appreciate your support. If you guys need any E-moto parts, check out our online parts store. We do sell E-motos and all the upgrades for them. We have a ton of how-to videos and guides to keep you guys out riding and having a good time. So we appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoy the video.
Like Lance was saying in the beginning, we kind of turned all of our light bikes into big, beefy, heavier bikes instead of going the lighter route. So they're almost to the weight of a stock Ultra Bee, which is insane. If you haven't already, you guys should subscribe right now because we have some really crazy plans with this bike. We've got stuff on order, things are on the way. And if you want to follow the process of building an Ultra Bee, hit that subscribe button. Dude, I've missed having a bike that feels this solid. We just gave back the Stark Varg from borrowing it from Warp 9 for a long time, and this almost feels just like as sturdy as that bike. It's nowhere near as heavy, but they both feel very sturdy and predictable. This bike handles surprisingly well. It just rolls over all these rocks. It's got really soft suspension. I've heard that kind of motocross riders and people that like to do jumps are not big fans of the suspension, but it's doing relatively good for rocks and boulders like these. I want you guys to comment down below what videos you want us to do with this bike. We've got a whole list of video ideas. Whoa, We've got a whole list of video ideas that we want to do, but we also want to hear what you guys want to see, because lots of the time you guys want to see stuff that we don't even think about. Here he is, rolling up on his built Surron. Dude, I love this bike.
You loving it?
It handles really well.
You were the one that was most excited for that thing, so I'm glad you've got it, and now it's time to start upgrading.
Lance going out on his first rip off-road on that bike.
All right, guys, we are on the Ultra Bee. Dang, it got techie right off the bat there. Okay, so I have actually never ridden a fully stock Ultra Bee. I've never ridden it with the stock 19 front and rear wheels. I've only ridden it with the upgraded 18-21 inch, which I think really is the way the bike should have come from the factory. I think the 19s are fine, but like the 18-21s made a big difference. I can already tell you that. But this bike feels good. Whoa! Whew. Oh, I almost ate it there. My front wheel totally washed out on that corner. That's one of the things that the 21 front really helps with on this bike, is keeps that front end from washing out. It feels good though. Throttle's got some pep, some punch, some power. And to be honest, this bike is a lot less intimidating than it was the first time that I rode it. The first time being about a year ago, it was like my first time riding a bigger motorcycle. Like, coming from my Talaria that didn't have any upgrades, it was pretty much bone stock, small little bike, didn't have much power, and this was like twice as much power as I'd ever ridden, and bigger and heavier, and moto brakes. But now it's not intimidating to me. After riding a Stark Varg the other day, that bike is a whole nother animal than this thing. It's definitely not quite as fast or peppy as I remember it being a year ago, and that's just because I've experienced bikes like that do 96 miles an hour and have actually more than double the power that this bike does. But we're gonna get there on this bad boy. Okay, now we need to head up this road. You guys already kind of seen our plan where we're going today on the map. This is our fast dirt road section, and then we have a technical downhill trail to rip. All right, here we go. First time on a dirt road on it, and it feels smooth. Like, you can just tell that this is big moto suspension. It's not like full-size moto suspension, but it has a lot more travel and is just bigger and more supportive and stronger feeling than our small bikes, which is awesome.
We just stopped back there, and Lance made a really good point. With the way that that bike is set up right now, it has 19-inch front and rear tires. This bike has an 18-inch rear tire and a 21-inch front tire. They almost feel very similar in size. You can tell that the Ultra Bee is heavier and more top-heavy. The reason we bought that Ultra Bee is to make it a bigger bike. We're going to put 18-21 on it for sure. Make that thing bigger, beefier, handle better. Maybe put new suspension on it. We've got something in the works for you guys you don't know about quite yet. But that thing's gonna freaking rip, and it's gonna handle all these trails, the trails that we're doing today, better than this light bee can. Look at that view. Believe it or not, guys, I was up here like 2 hours ago. We just got back from another group ride with a few of our buddies. Literally took this road down.
I'm just gonna slow down for a second here and talk about this bike for those of you who aren't familiar with it. This bike's been around for like 18 months, so it's not a brand new bike. And the basic specs are 187 pounds in the totally stock form like I'm riding it now. It's got moto brakes, moto suspension, moto frame, 19-inch wheels front and back. We kind of already talked about how we believe that going to a larger 21 front and a smaller 18 rear with a larger tire so that it actually measures bigger once you do that. This bike has a 74 volt 55 amp hour battery, I believe, which is a good sized battery for this bike. It's gonna take you to a lot of places, a lot of good range. And this has a power output of 12.5 kilowatts, which is very competitive. I think it's enough for a lot of people that are going to be just off-roading, riding trails, you know, doing enduro type riding. It's not bad. Now, with some of the modifications we're going to do to this bike, we will be adding an upgraded controller, which will be able to pull more power out of the battery, send it to the motor, and we'll be able to increase our power to about 17 kilowatts while using that stock battery. I think that will be a big improvement. Just going from 12.5 to 17 is honestly going to be a really sweet spot for the size and weight of this bike and the type of riding that we like to do. We are used to a little more power on our upgraded smaller bikes, so this doesn't feel really fast to us, but it does feel like enough. And if you're just getting into these bikes, it is a super sweet competitive bike with honestly amazing build quality. I have to give Surron props for the build quality that they have on their bikes. They just come well built. You can tell the components are just that little bit higher end than some of the other brands, which is really nice to see. Okay, here's our trail. So we are going down there. So that ridge that you guys can see way up there, that's kind of a V like this, we're gonna ride all the way down to that, out it, and straight down to the city.
We just came along that road all the way up to here after going on some trails down there. Now it's time to head down this gnarly section. We're gonna be testing the brakes on this bike and the suspension and how well it handles steep downhill sections. I was always really interested to try this bike completely stock like we are now, because the bike that I rode before already had bigger 18-21-inch tires. It had riser bars, it had a few other key upgrades like pegs and linkages and cool stuff that Warp 9 sells. We also sell on our website. But I was interested to try this bike completely stock, because I know right out of the box it's a very, very strong bike that people rarely have issues with.
All right, we are heading down through the fern forest. Look how tall this is. Well over my handlebars of an 1821 Surron. Isn't that cool? I want to just pose the question to you guys. What do you like about our videos? And what do you think that we could do better at? Because we're always open for new ideas and criticism or whatever. So I want to know what you guys like about the videos, maybe some stuff you don't like, and what you think we could do better on or improve at. We're trying to improve all the time. So let us know, drop a comment in the video.
Dude, it was always so crazy to me how many features are built into this bike. You can go into this display with a few buttons and change like your tilt sensor, your kickstand sensor, your brake sensors. You can add regen to your motor, you can add regen to your brakes. So many different things. Okay, I'm about to bomb this rocky, gnarly, steep section. Brakes are so good on this bike. They're better than I remember. I recently tried moto style brakes on my Talaria, the Voller Sport brakes, and they were kind of junk. For paying that much money, I really didn't like the way that they pulled and the feeling that they had. I thought they might feel like these Surron Ultra Bee brakes, but they did not.
This is nasty. It looks like there is a storm brewing out here. I hope it's coming to us because it's hot and I want it to rain. I tell you what, the cool thing though is this trail always smokes all of our mountain bike style brakes on the small bikes. And this thing just got the big old moto brakes. They're not gonna get smoked. If this doesn't look gnarly on camera, I promise it is. I've ridden this trail like 30 times in my life. Ugh. Whew. I think we need some riser bars. Okay, I want to know what upgrades you guys want to see on this bike. Just throw them out there. Any stuff, any parts, any upgrades you guys have seen and you want a review on it or whatever. I can't promise we're gonna do it, but throw it out there. We want to know what you guys are interested in seeing and what upgrades you guys have seen that look really good. Oh yeah, nice little drop there. That suspension took that well. Oh yeah, that was plush on that drop. That's like a 2-foot drop I just took. I know you can't even see it on camera, but like a 2-foot rock drop. Look at that rain out there. Look at the view. I'm a fan of these brakes. I typically don't love a lot of moto style brakes. Like I've tried some of the conversion kits for the Talarias and smaller Surrons, and I've just never been a fan of the way that they modulated and felt. But these Ultra Bee brakes I could totally get used to and use. Oh!
Wow. We got some rain coming.
Yeah, a lot of it. Action. All right, guys, it is time to end the video. We were way the heck up there. Like I said, we rode this ridge all the way down, and we're not at the bottom yet, but we do have a rainstorm coming. We're just gonna end the video right here. It's pretty cool being up here on this ridge and watching the rain come across the valley. You can literally see like really thick patches, thin patches as it comes closer. I'm kind of hoping it rains on us. It's just kind of fun having these August thunderstorms. Well, that kind of concludes our first initial review of the Surron Ultra Bee in totally stock. And now it's time to upgrade it, so stay tuned for our next Ultra Bee video. It's probably not gonna be our next video, but we will have some major upgrades on this bike. And like I said, drop a comment for stuff you wanna see upgraded on this. I can't promise that we're gonna do them, but we want more ideas and suggestions on things you guys think are cool or make a big difference on your Ultra Bee. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next video. See ya.
Bro, it's raining and it's windy. Oh my, this is no good. We gotta hurry and get down. Oh, I'm getting soaked. I'm getting soaked already. This is no good.
Well, for those of you wondering, yes, we did get hit by the rainstorm. It just started. It's probably gonna get a lot worse. But here we are, going down in the rain. Feels good.
Yeah, quick little update. I'm wet. He's filming too. Oh, Lance asked for it. He was like, right when we ended the video, said, I hope it rains.